Hi all, welcome to my channel. After a long gap, we are again back on our starting point, and today I am discussing with the topic pulse sequences, mainly on the spin echo sequence. A very simplified pulse sequence is a combination of RF pulses, signals, and intervening periods of recovery. Then, why we are introducing pulse sequences? The first reason is inhomogeneity in magnetic field when the RF pulse is switched off, and the second one is its byproduct, dephasing of the spins. Inhomogeneities are the areas within the magnetic field that do not exactly match the external magnetic field strength. That is, some areas have a magnetic field strength lies less than the main magnetic field, while other areas have a magnetic field strength more than the main magnetic field. And dephasing means magnetic moments of hydrogen nuclei are not in the same position on the precessional path. Let's discuss in detail. As per the Lama equation, the Lama frequency of a nucleus is proportional to the magnetic field it experiences. That is, if a nucleus lies in an area of inhomogeneity with higher field strength, the precessional frequency of the nucleus increases. That is, it speeds up. However, if a nucleus lies in an area of inhomogeneity with lower field strength, the precessional frequency of a nucleus decreases. That is, it slows down. It is clear that the spins are dephasing, that is, they are not in the same position due to inhomogeneity, because some are precessing in less speed and some in a fast mode. The rate of dephasing due to inhomogeneity is an exponential process. For our easiness, just remember this analogy. The change of phase of magnetic moments due to inhomogeneities in the field is exactly the same as several watches telling different times, because the frequencies of their hour hands are different. This dephasing is predominantly responsible for T2 star decay, and due to this there will be a rapid loss of coherent magnetization, that is, the magnetization along the transverse plane, and finally we will get the signal. What happens to this FID is that it will reach zero rapidly before most tissue have had time to attain their T1 or T2 relaxation time. Here in this video, I am not discussing in detail about the FID, longitudinal and transverse magnetization, T1 relaxation time, T2 decay, because I have already taken the Malayalam version of this topic. If anybody want the English version of this topic, please do comment on my comment box, and I will definitely take that classes again. To measure the relaxation time and produce an image with good contrast, we need to regenerate the signal, and there are two ways of doing this. First one is by using an additional 180-degree RF pulse, and it's called spin echo pulse sequences, and second one is by using gradients, and it is called gradient echo pulse sequences. Let's have a look into the steps of applied sequences in spin echo. A 90-degree RF pulse is applied to flip the net magnetization vector to the transverse plane. The net magnetization vector precesses in the transverse plane, inducing a voltage in the receiver. When the RF pulse is switched off, dephasing will occur, and this will be responsible for the T2 star decay, and also it will result in the decay of the signal with time rapidly. Here comes our hero 180-degree RF pulse. It is used to compensate for this dephasing. A 180-degree RF pulse is an RF pulse that has sufficient energy to move the net magnetization vector through 180 degree. For an easy understanding, let us imagine three cars on a circular racetrack. The cars relate to three magnetic moments, and the circular racetrack to the precessional path of the magnetic moments. The cars have varying speed. One is a racing car, and one is a family saloon, and the other one is a tractor. At the sound of the start gun, consider it indicates the switching of RF pulse. The cars set off around the track. Okay. Very shortly, the racing car pulls ahead of the family car, which in turn sprints ahead of the tractor. At this point, remember the fact that some spins are moving speedily and some others are slowly due to the inhomogeneity of the magnetic field. They are now out of phase with each other as they are in a different place on the track to each other at a given time. The longer the race is allowed to run, the more dephasing between the vehicle occurs. The starting gun is fired again. This starting gun now refers to the 180-degree RF pulse. On hearing the racing car, our nuclei having high processing speed is now at the back because it traveled furthest at the beginning of the race. And the tractor, our nuclei having lower precessional frequency, is at the front because it traveled slower at the beginning of the race. The family saloon is somewhere in between. Assuming the cars travel back to the start line at exactly the same speed as they traveled out at the beginning of the race. The racing car and family saloon catch up with the tractor and are at exactly the same place at the same time when they get back to the start line. So they are back in phase, and if there were magnetic moments, they would generate a spin echo at this point. The time taken for the cars to complete the whole race, that is from the starting line to the point where they turn around and back to the starting line again, corresponds to the TE. Okay friends, this is the end session of this video, and the continuation of the spin echo sequences will be on the next video. If you have any doubt, please make a comment and I will try my best to rectify your doubt. See you on next video. Until then, bye friends.